Angeles,
Hi.
Other action figures each sold separately. From
Record her.
Jenny, get the door. It must be Cousin Willie. Okay. Hi. What's up?
Ah, there we go. Something chill to watch. The following video is rated R and is intended for an adult audience. So if you're under 18, take a fucking hike, eh? As this video may contain adult themes and situations, strong language and opinions, good and bad advice, cannabis cultivation and consumption. So as long as you're a responsible adult, kick back, spark one up, and enjoy the show.
And
works.
Oh, yeah, okay. The mic wasn't working for the first second. Hello there. Just making sure everything's working. I'm staring at the screen over there. Cannabis Grows here. How the heck are you doing? Welcome to Friday Night Gardening, and this is What's Growing On. And to answer your question, Jong, about the long intro, you've been here a while. You know the drill. It's not an intro. People that watch the video after the fact are the only ones that really I feel sorry for, because then they're like, what the fuck is this 5-minute intro? This is crazy. It's a waiting room. This is live right now. Well, maybe not when you see it, but trust me, it's live when it's being recorded. And I got people in the chat room and stuff. It's about a 4 or 5 minute wait room just to allow people to get in, get comfortable. It's a little warning for you to start rolling a joint, grab your coffee, sit on down, come on in, relax. It's merely a waiting room. Twitch does it. Whenever you're going live, a lot of people will put a 5 or a 10 minute waiting room up, so they go grab they start their stream, then they go grab their coffee and settle in and make sure everything's all lined up, and just gives people a moment to settle in. It's a live streaming thing. I don't know. Again, anybody watching the show after the fact, you can just scrub ahead. Other than that, I'm sorry if it bothers you. I'll consider shortening it, but it's there for a reason. Anyway, how y'all doing? First thing I gotta say, right off the bat, let's rip this, I always say rip this Band-Aid off. I've been saying that a lot lately. I don't know why. But this room stinks like crazy. This plant back here is just gassy beyond words. It is so frigging potent in this room right now. It is just... It's impressive. Me and the wife went out and we did some errands the other day. We spent the day with my mom, and then we went and had dinner and did some shopping and stuff, and came home. We were out. Point is, we were gone all day. And then we come back, and we open the front door, and first thing Bunny says, holy crap, the house smells like weed, fresh weed. And it's this down here. We got a pretty good carbon system going on here, but there's definitely leaks under the door. The room is not sealed. And yeah, the house fucking stinks right now. Even with good carbon scrubbers in here. I got a real big one up here. I got another one over there, MARSHYDRO units. Just stinking. Holy crap. Speaking of which, you know them, you love them. This episode is brought to you by MARSHYDRO. You can use my name as a code right here. Boop. Cannabis. Save yourself a couple of bucks off of any of the MARSHYDRO products. Oops, wrong button. That one there. Boop, 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 boop. I'm currently using the Fc8000. Yeah, Fc8000. An absolute monster of a light. I do have some of those Adalite systems coming on. Some of you eagle eyes might have noticed that there's something foreign. What are those things? There's something up there, Beard. What is that? I'll show you in a second. I do have some additional lighting, supplemental lighting I've added to this system. Do I think that it's underpowered? No. Am I just a sucker for a little bit more red? Maybe. ever since I got the news that I'm getting the supplemental Adalite systems, the infrared, the deep red, and the blue one or whatever. There's 3 supplemental lights that go in and add just the rest, hard versions of the rest of the spectrums that you can add on as you wish, is coming, but I don't have it yet. And since it's not here yet, I've been thinking about it. And since I can't stop thinking about it, I'm like, I got a couple of lights that are in the far red. Anyway, let's have a quick dab first, and then I'll show you what that's all about, and we'll talk about all this. The purple lights. No. Well, the ultraviolet's a little bit purple spectrum for sure. The reds and stuff. I guess if you combine it with the blue, it would come out kind of that purple. It's kind of funny if you think about it, though. Companies spent all this time and energy getting away from the purple lights and going into the full spectrum. And now they're going back, they're re-adding the purple back to the full spectrum. It's kind of funny, but the light game is a never-ending evolution. It's always changing, so just try to stay up to date as best you can. Smoking on some Mephisto's Alien versus Gorilla. No, Alien versus Triangle. I grew it right here. It was in the front row. The last run that we did, it was Super Lemon Haze in the back and Alien versus Triangle here in the front row. Numb. That was pretty darn good. Anyway, I'll show you these lights, but I gotta warn you, they're an old light. You can't get them anymore, so that's why I'm feeling kind of okay showing them on this show, because this show is a MARSHYDRO centric show, and these are not MARSHYDROs. These are old. Some of you might know what these are. Oh, wait a minute, right there. Yeah, there we go. We'll go up in this thing here. So those are the old MICROSCOPEs. Those are the only lights that are on currently right now in this setup. Just for the moment, because I'm filming. But these are like these balls, and they actually do shoot. They got a pretty big Cree cob light or something in the dead center of it, and then a whole bunch of different stuff. These things are old school, man. Old school. And it's hard to see. You can see that it's throwing off. You can see some bars. At least I can see some weird bars on the video. This is one of the reasons I don't use these kinds of lights anymore, and full spectrum is big thumbs up for YouTubers, is it was hard to film with purple lights. Cameras don't like the weird ultraviolet light shit. They don't do very well with it. But at any rate, I have those up there just for showing you this right now, and for a little bit of added red until my Adalite setup gets here. So first of all, let's look at this weird one, because it's frickin' weird. I took a couple of leaves off. There was a few leaves that were bone dry for some reason. The plant's fine. It's not like dry. It's not like getting no water, but there was a couple of leaves that were crispy for some reason. I just took them off because they were nasty. And then this one in the back here, looking good, looking good. Yeah, you can see the color is like cycling. The color temperature is cycling in here. It's doing some weird shit. This kind of lighting does not do well, as I said, with this kind of camera setup for some reason. That's okay. And then this thing here is just giving off all the gas. Now, before I get in here and show you off too much, I want to talk about my water for a second here. Number one, I've been feeding about 4 or 5 gallons of water, about 2, maybe even 3 times a week. Just these 3 plants are soaking up a couple of gallons like a day almost, it seems like. At any rate, I've been keeping this at only about half full, because there's no point. I'm not running a huge system. This is only a couple of plants, so half full seems to be about fine for the measurements and stuff that I've been doing. And I measured it with my my trenching pen right here, and I'll show you right now, even if you want to have a look. But the number there is bouncing between 400 and 500. So it's about 450 ppms right now in there. It could be a little tiny bit higher. I wouldn't want to go much higher than around 550, at least at the current state. I might add a little bit more nutrients to it here in the near future, but currently that's what I'm at. And I've been using this whole lineup, Advanced Nutrients, pH Perfects lineup, the 3-part Grow, Macro, Bloom, and I got all the bells and whistles here for the most part. There's a CalMag supplement. We got some Overdrive, Big Bud Candy, Flawless Finish, something else. Oh, that was a pH up and down. But honestly, I haven't had to fuck with the pH. I think they call this stuff pH Perfect for a reason, because the reality is I haven't had to fuck with the pH. Very, very little bit in the very beginning when I was really, truly trying to make sure I was dialing it in. But now with very little bit amount of water changes, the water has been stable. It's been holding right around high 5s, low 6, right within about 20 points of each other. It's just bouncing right in there. And that's fine. I don't have to adjust that really. That's okay. I don't need to bother upping it and downing it and putting 2 drops in and retesting it and shit after that. But it's close enough. It's close enough. It's pretty darn. That's a good tolerance window. That's not bad. Anyway, let's have one more dab, and then I'll go in and we'll take a good look at this big OREOz here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about and where all this stink is coming from.
It's dab time, motherfucking dab time, time to take a fucking dab break.
I have the same issue no matter how many times those leaves I pulled out, never stopped. Cut down that plant. That light is bad on the video. Oh yeah, that's why I don't use those lights anymore. That's why I stay far the fuck away from purple lights for the most part. Yeah, it does some weird shit. Oh. All right, let's let's shut them down, and we'll trade lights for a minute. Yeah, let's turn it on the lowest temperature. But now look at the difference when I come in here with this camera here. Remember what it was looking like a moment ago? Look at how much clearer that is. It ain't doing that warble. It just looks normal. Anyway, here we go. This plant is not going to give me the biggest buds, but there's a lot of it. They're all kind of like small and medium buds. But my God, they are frosty and so smelly. Oh my goodness. And am I ever glad I trained it the way I did? Because just look at the amount of tops on this little plant. It's almost hard to, I don't know. I'm happy with this thing, man. We got some good looking buds. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of leaf burn. Leaf burn. Root. But looking around, the plant looks good. That's actually probably the only spot I see. Actually, you know what? That might not be burn. That might be cat chew. Because look right below it. Cat chew. My cat fucking eats my plants a little bit. Both of them do. Canna and Pepper. They're both bad plant eaters. So I was told that the curling is too much nitrogen. And that's actually really possible because I think I over-measured my nitrogen in my middle stage. And I think that's where a lot of that curling came from, is I think I gave it a veg sort of feeding when it was trying to transition, and it was just a bit more nitrogen than it wanted at that point. I think that's what maybe that was. I had a couple people comment about that. But I am really happy with the actual look and smell of these buds. Very, 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 very dank smelling in here. It's crazy. It's gassing out my whole friggin' house. So, before we end today's episode, I am going to take a peekaboo at these things with the MAGNISCOPE. Uh-oh. Where the frick? Oh, I know where it is. It's in my office. There, let me go grab it. Hi, Pepper. You sitting outside? Sitting outside the grow room? Hello. Oh, and I just noticed I only got one dab set up on there. There should be two. Two dabs. So, let's get in here and take a look. What strain? This is OREOz. OREOz from Mephisto Genetics. It's their version of it. So first thing we should do is probably have a look at this one here first, hey? This weird looking thing. Now, okay, this is really awkward. It's hard for me to to see. I can't see the camera. Sorry, I'm not trying to yell at the microphone. It's hard for me to see. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, it's hard for me to line up so that I can look back over my shoulder here and see my laptop up in the frickin' corner on a frickin' shelf thing there, that I'm within frame and stuff. So we can take a look at this and hopefully get in here and see what's up. Okay, so let's see here. If I turn that a bit that way there, that probably looks a little better. No glare, I hope. So I'm seeing a lot of crystal clear trichomes in there. Lots and lots and lots of good trichome action, but all crystal clear on this. And I actually figured this freaking thing of all of them was going to be the one that was going to be like probably done. But because we're at 12 weeks today, 12 weeks, that's 3 months. That's pretty much where it should be done. However, these got about almost a 3-week late start. So generally I would say that autoflowers have a frickin' cycle, and if they don't finish in time, it's too late, then they're just done. But what happens if you just push them a little bit further? Because they're supposed to be cut down now. This is technically their done date, but they're not ready yet. God, here's a couple of bad leaves, eh? These leaves, this is crunchy. Look at this. Listen. See? I wonder what's going on with that. Not the whole plant is doing that. Well, it's weird. There's a lot of stiffness in this plant. Well, I don't care. This was a disposable. I tried to throw this out, but you guys wouldn't let me throw it out. You guys said keep it for fucking science. So, for science sake, this is what we got. Okay, now let's go in here and see what I can see here. Is that... No, that's not in frame. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. That should be good. What we got there? Milky. A lot of milk. All milky. Couple clear, couple of milky from that bud. Oh God, it's hard to hold my hand steady. A lot of milky. Again, okay, so those two plants are the hardest ones for me to look at. Well, I guess that back one's probably the hardest one. The one over here is probably not too bad. Let's have a look over here. Again, this one doesn't look ready yet. So, like, what does happen if you push a plant, an autoflower, past its prime, past how long it's supposed to be cut down if it had a bad start like this? Do I give it the extra couple of weeks? I'm going to try. I see a lot of milky. Yeah, all milky. Oh man, my finger smells so weird. It's got a... I don't know what this fucking smell is. I don't know what this smell is. This thing is awesome though, folks. I highly recommend y'all get one of these things. It's the best eye loop you'll ever get. They're called an Andon Star. There's a link in the description below. I freaking love this thing. I've had it for absolute years, and I love it. It's a game changer for looking at trichomes, man. Handheld digital microscope. Pfft, how the frick do you go wrong on that? I'm going to give it probably, I think, one more week, and then I'm going to probably call it. There's a lot of milky going on. I don't see a single dot of amber in anything I looked at yet today. So I think I'm going to give it the next week, but I think that's going to be it. They're looking pretty damn close. They're stinking like high hell, and I don't want to overdo it too much, but at the same time, I don't want to harvest them too premature either. They are hybrids. They're not full-on sativas. If it's a sativa, it's okay to harvest it a little bit early, as the time when you harvest also dictates a lot of the sensation you get, regardless of its indica or sativa lineage. There's a lot of discussion around harvesting early gives you a more sativa feel. It's a little more lightheaded and uplifting, whereas if you let it ripen more and get darker trichomes, you're going to get more of a couch locky kind of, you know, more indica feel. So depending on what you're doing, what you got, and when you want to harvest it, there's a lot of factors that can really dictate how your plant sort of tastes and reacts a little bit. To a certain extent. I mean, a lot of it's dictated by plant, but a lot of it's dictated by how you harvest it and when you harvest it and how you cure it, etc., etc., etc. We all know that much, at least. Anyway. Your last sativa went 77 days. Wow, that's fucking... If you're talking about just flower, if you're talking about like a photo period and just flower, that's probably pretty normal. If you're talking an autoflower from seed, that's crazy. One of the biggest, the fastest plants I ever grew was, I think, 71 days from seed. And it was an autoflower named Strawberry Cheese from Mephisto. Or no, not Mephisto. It was, I'm pretty sure it was Coastal Mary stuff. By the way, you can use my name as a code. Cannabeard25. That's 25 at Coastal Mary Seeds. Check them out. I can't post links or nothing. You're going to have to Google them yourself. But as I always say, you'll be glad you did. That's about all that's growing on in here. It looks good. It stinks. Looking good is debatable. Understand, I had a very, very rough start. If you're new here and you're just wondering why the hell I'm praising these weird looking things, they all should have been dead. They were autoflowers that didn't start growing for almost 3 weeks. I was ready to throw in the towel a week prior, but I'm like, I'm going to give it one more week for science, and then they started growing. So, whatever. I went through multiple beans. I got no more seeds of this. They were expensive, and I really, really, really wanted some tangible, decent result. And I think I'm going to get an okay result, just not anywhere what I could have gotten had I started this all correctly. I'm new to hydroponics, and I'm new to COCO, and I made some mistakes, but I think I learned my lessons, and hopefully, next run will be a little bit different. Obviously, I can keep them going fairly well once they're starting growing, but it was just getting it out of that beginning baby stage, hand watering it, and how much nutrients to give them, and I wasn't giving them anything really. I was thinking it was like soil, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. Go back and watch all that if you want. Or bug me next time and I'll elaborate further. My photos run for 7 weeks flower. Yeah. So yeah, if it's yeah, all plants are kind of different, you know. There's definitely some good ballparks that people throw out numbers. I'm very prone to this, throwing out ballparks. A good ballpark for autoflowers is 3 months, man. From seed to flower and harvest, it's about 3 months, give or take a couple of weeks near at the end there, depending on your strain. And same thing with like photo periods. There's like a general window of flower. Sometimes they go much further, especially if they're a sativa, have longer windows. But it's always there. That's like saying when people ask, how much do I water my plant? I'm like, what are you growing it in? How big is it? What strain is it? What point in its life? There's too many factors to just give you to say 1 cup, 2 gallons. You know what I mean? Like I need to know a lot more about the factors before there should be a scale. I should figure out a scale here for this. But I remember I did a bunch of sort of pseudo research and asked a whole bunch of the growers on the Discord and stuff about how much they, on average, watered during certain stages and stuff, and it was pretty standard across the board. But there is a lot of variance to that question. Anyway, same thing goes for pretty much anything with cannabis. It's all a little bit strain and situation dependent. Yeah, there's some sort of rules, but, you know, like they say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way sometimes, man. This shit does not always go as planned. But that's sort of, I think, part of the fun in growing, is there is a little bit of a gamble in it. Like how good can I do if I give them all the right parameters? How good of a result can I get, you know? And sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. This time, I wouldn't call this a win, but I call it a solid save. Anyway, folks, if you liked the episode, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube that stuff like this is good. Subscribe if you're not already. And if you are subscribed, always please double check. I know I say it every week, but every once in a while, you only have to do it like once every couple of months, but double check. For real, once in a while, double check that you are set for all notifications, because YouTube quite often will change this to some or none or whatever the other options are. It moves that around for some reason. I don't know why. Double check, because I'm a live streamer mostly these days. I don't do a whole lot of recorded stuff and edited stuff. I've been getting real lazy with the editing lately. It is what it is. This is my show. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And I'll see you next week. If you like more of this kind of action, follow me on Twitch. I stream there a lot. Games almost every day. Cheers. Have a good night, everybody.